Welcome back to the show. Well, if you're looking to get some support for that competitive athlete in your family, I don't think there's anyone better to probably speak to than a competitive athlete herself. I'm joined by Janine Charron. She is a speaker, mindset, and resilience development coach. Welcome.
Yeah,
Great
thank you
to
for
have
having
you,
me.
Janine. We're going to talk about this because, this is actually probably the perfect time of year to talk about it. You're seeing a lot of, kids hockey teams, start up. And when you go from the recreational to the competitive level, as a parent, a lot of things must be going through their mind.
Yeah, I think this is applicable to anyone in life, but I do believe at the time we are at in our lives, just with social media, we need to put an emphasis on self-leadership, self-reliance. And so when it comes to a competitive athlete, how to help them excel, not make them rely on the external validation of parents or a parent telling them what to do or living vicariously through them, but able to self-lead so that we're developing these beautiful athletes, but these humans. So there's a lot of time when I talk to athletes about life after sports, the first thing they have is an identity crisis. Who am I when it's not the number on my jersey, right?
Right.
And these are...
Well, you just telling me you just spoke to Chris Pronger, right?
Yeah.
Longtime NHL, one of the greatest defensemen of all time, right? Which Ottawa should have actually drafted. I'm just saying, guys. But speaking to somebody like that, who was at the highest point in his career, what did he tell you about the transition?
He said, take a full year off. Don't do anything. You're going to be excited. Well, you're such a high achiever. You're used to the busy schedule. Athletes, when they stop sport, you've got the dopamine, you got serotonin, oxytocin, all the feel-good hormones flooding through your body because you're training every day.
Right.
You've got a team atmosphere, constant cheering and validation from everyone around you, right? You're the thing. And then all of a sudden, the cheering stops. You have to sit with yourself. So he said, don't commit or do anything. Don't make any decisions for a year. He flew in some mentors actually to tell him that. And he said it was the best advice he was given. But one thing when we go back to competitive athletes, he said, don't leave anything to chance. And that for me is when it comes down to what I do with radical responsibility. Okay. Are down to make sure your children make their beds. Don't do it for them. We're not helping, we're delaying their development by doing things for them. And I feel as a society, we do this to each other. We want to help them get through the hard time. They need to sit in their feelings. They need to feel rejection. We can't protect them. This coddling generation that I feel like we've grown into, we don't mean to. I think there's a lot of people with great intentions.
I don't think they mean to either, right? You want your child to have, maybe because they're getting into that competitive field and other people around them are seeing that, wow, okay, this is somebody that's got it, right? That's got it different. And then you say, well, we got to make sure they just concentrate on that. Well, they're going to miss out on everything else in life.
Well, and then it depends what their goal is. So it's important to have scheduling and making them understand their schedule. Yes, if you're playing competitive hockey, you're on the ice 6-7 days a week. That's just the nature.
There's a routine.
Right. And if you have a goal of making high-level sports, that's just the dedication that's required to reach that goal.
Right.
However, there should be room for getting out in nature, being with friends. Find something you love to do outside of your sport. We don't need kids burning out in sport before they can even reach their full potential.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing because of social media and people are looking down the lack of eye to eye, or being coddled, they're not developing those skill sets that they should have by a certain age in terms of being able to, like I hear from an NCAA coach that I interviewed, she's like, the thing that drives her nuts is when parents speak to her for the player.
Oh.
Encourage your kids to have the conversation. Help them with the routine. It's kind of like, I remember when we're baking and you want to just get it done because you're busy, but the children wants to help. And it's like, no, I'll do it. But take a step back and just let them do it.
Kicking your children out of the kitchen. It's such an old school way of thinking, right? No, it's my kitchen. Get out of the kitchen.
But like taking the time to let them figure it out and mess up.
Yeah.
We don't
100%.
get I'll be 42 in December, but I played at the University of New Hampshire, Division I, NCAA hockey. I had a few years in the National Women's Hockey League. But my true growth happened after going through divorce, bankruptcy, and breast cancer. That's when I try, and I'm passionate about it because I'm like, don't wait to go through all those three things to learn what I'm trying to teach you now.
Right.
So having a schedule that, what's the word I want to say, that supports the human, not just the athlete. And it's not like if they only get praise when they're doing well in their sport versus when they're not. So that's a conversation that you have to have as a family. These are your goals. We're going to have to make a schedule to support this. But if you look at your schedule, I feel like we over busy our kids too.
100%. No kidding. I agree.
Where's the room for magic or spontaneity?
Where's the room, as you said, to be by yourself, to sit with yourself?
You have to sit with yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's when we nurture and cultivate that relationship, and that's where we start to trust our intuition. If we're constantly being told, and we're a society that loves to tell each other what we think and do, and especially with the internet, we have more access to do that. And again, I don't think it's necessarily, the majority, it's not, we have good intentions, we mean well, but we're robbing each other of our own development by going through it.
You brought a few things with you here. What do you tell me while you brought these things? What am I looking at?
If I can hit anything home in today's segment, start writing in a journal.
Okay.
I know a lot of people, there's a lot of resistance around journaling. Google journal prompts, you'll get thousands on the internet. This is going to help you. We have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. So can you imagine if you never take the time to understand what's going on the inner game? Like, we upgrade our technology, but we're not up-leveling ourselves, right?
It's a great way to put it,
We get the quickest iPhone, but so this is just, I have probably 10 journals that I've ran. The 1 year that I did, I looked back at it, it was like the same story over and over. And I was so like, oh my God, like, get over it, right? So you got to get through some mucky water to really get to who you are. And then when you make a decision, there's no back talk in your head. Like, you are firm, and this is what I believe, and this is who I am, this is what I stand for, but you got to get to work on yourself.
I got 60 seconds left.
Okay. I always, iPod, like when I'm doing laundry, dishes, anything the mundane, put in a podcast. Start learning when you're driving your car.
Audiobook, podcast.
Yes, all that.
I love it.
Use your phone. It's a smartphone, not just for texting and calling. Set it in your calendar. Plan your day, and then you'll see you actually have more time in the day than you really understand. And then there's room for magic and spontaneity and time to do the things that you love outside of what you have to do for work and your commitments. And then these I use. So I'm big on like affirmations and little. Yeah. So you can have one.
Okay.
You can all have one. They say keep showing up.
Keep showing up. I like it.
Yeah, and I truly believe life's currency is showing up. It's not time or money, because you could have all the time and money in the world, but if you're not, however you're showing up for that.
JanineCharron.com. Find out more information. We'll be right back after this. I love that.
Yeah.
Keep showing up.